Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 158. The album that I'll be reviewing today is Pete Rock and CL Smooth's second album, and last album they did together, titled "The Main Ingredient," released in 1994. But before I start, I just want to say rest in peace to Big Cap. He's the DJ that I used to roll with. He was part of the whole Flip Squad with Funkmaster Flex back in the day. He died this morning. According to Billboard.com, he died of a heart attack. So, but rest in peace, brother. You sorely missed. I was just bumping the tunnel earlier today, so definitely for that, man. But yeah, rest in peace to him. All right, and all the requests that you guys been showing me, that you've been sending me, I got you guys. They're coming. I just want to put out some more albums that I've been like filling out requests for other people and stuff that I want to show with you guys. But I'm coming, so don't think that I'm ignoring you. And I know you guys get tired of me saying eventually, but they're coming eventually. But they will come. Don't worry about that. All right. But back to the album, Pete Rock CL Smooth, The Main Ingredient. This album came out 2 years after The Mecca and the Soul Brother. If you guys haven't seen that review, check that out when you guys get a chance. Just type in Pete Rock and it should pop up. Right after Mecca, the Mecca album, in 1993, they appeared on two projects, which was the Who's the Man soundtrack, and they appeared on the Poetic Justice soundtrack. Both dope songs right there. I'll post it down in the description box and stuff like that. And then, within 1993, 1994, they started working on the album, and this is how the album came about, alright? This is Mecca and the Soul Brother, Main Ingredient, excuse me. This has 3 singles. The singles are I Gotta Love, Take You There, featuring Crystal Johnson. Crystal Johnson, you guys might know her for doing the chorus for Temperatures Rising off of Mobb Deep, and Searching. Those are the singles. Those are the 3 singles of the album. All right. You know how I get down. I'm gonna show you guys what the album looks like. Opens it up. Well, this is the front cover. That's what it looks like. You should see them in Pete's basement, his infamous basement. That's what the album looks like. And yes, I know they released it. They have the deluxe edition, but I'm good with this one. You know what I mean? So I've always liked this cover. I like when artists do that back in the day. Like, they display all their record collection. Like, yeah, as you can see, the SP1200, like the mixing board here, and like, it's dope. I fucking love that. That's like producer porn right there. All right. As you can see, the album credits, things like that. Here's like the shout outs and things like that. Yeah. So you can see Pete Rock chilling, look like a barbershop or something like that. You see CL with his son. Alright. Then you see them praying, you know what I mean? Well, shout out to my dude John Blaze, about the 5%, 5% is not being Muslim. Thanks for that, because I always thought, like, I kind of knew I thought they were like, they were offshoots of Muslims. Like, like, I know a little bit about the 5% Nation. I don't know too much. I know bits and pieces. So, but yeah, but thank you for that. You know what I mean? Then you can see the old school barbershop, lamp or whatever. The pool. You got the pool table. You got the corner store, the bodega right here. Pretty cool. And then this picture right here is so ill, man. You see the SP1200, the S900, the mixing board. I mean, that's where all the magic goes down, man. Fucking love that shit, man. I could just imagine when they first bought this album, like, just looking at this shit for hours. You know what I mean? Especially around that time. Alright? You guys know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks. Alright? Excuse me. Track 1, In the House. It starts off with a beat. The intro starts with a beat, with a Biz Marquee sample. Pretty dope, you know what I mean? And then the beat changes and then it just switches up. The beat is dope. It's very melodic, very smooth out and stuff like that. It's smooth, but it has like it's a smooth but a rugged beat. You know, meaning like the hard drums and stuff like that. Kind of reminiscent of something like you would hear maybe on like maybe like Tribe Called Quest, like Midnight Marauders. Like it's kind of not saying you would hit, but it's kind of reminiscent of that. Like it's just kind of remind me of that. In that song, and they just letting you guys know that they're still here, they still haven't missed this beat. You know, things like that. That you know we're back. You know, things like that. To me, it sets the tone of the album, in my opinion. One big difference with this album is that the production is a lot more melodic, more smoother compared to you know Mecca and Soul Brother, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. You know what I mean? So just don't want to throw that out there. All right. So that's In the House. Track 2, Carmel City. By far one of my all-time favorite Pete Rock songs. Like Pete Rock and CL Smooth songs. Like one of Pete Rock's illest beats that he ever made, in my opinion. I just love everything about that, man. Carmel City. It's more like a sex track, like kind of like, you know, him explain, like, you know, just bringing out his like ladies man persona. Cause there was a line where he said, you know, wifey left out, so let me go out and put some clothes and, you know, kind of explore the night type of thing. Forgot the line. I didn't write it down. Forgot to write it down, but he kind of says like that. He kind of says the line towards that. I'm just paraphrasing what he said, but you know, it's just the beat, everything about that song, like just his melodic flows and like the beat, it just goes so well with the beat. It's just like hearing like one instrument into one, even though it's like samples and his voice and the scratching and the scratching too. Like, you know, when he's scratching the whistle and stuff like that, that whistle sample, like it just sounded so well with that beat. Listen to that shit. It's like the type of joint that you play like when like you're having a hard day, you're coming home from a hard day at work. You know, your boss is fucking with you, and he or she's fucking with you and stuff like that, and then like you just want to unwind. And to me, that's one of those songs that you play like right after work, man. It's just want to unwind and that kind of thing. It just has like that sunset, you know, vibe to it. You know what I mean? But that's what I got from Carmel City. Then you got track 3, I Get Physical. Pretty dope jazzy track right here. Very heavy bass line, which is very prominent in this album, which is kind of different, you know, compared to you know Mecca and Soul Brother, because and you'll hear more when you listen to this album. You kind of notice a difference with Pete Rock compared to the first album. Like I said, I'll explain all that in the at the end of the video. But I Get Physical, dope bass line, dope jazzy sample. This is a braggadocio track, you know, just see how just, you know, speaking what he speak, you know what I mean? Pretty dope. You got track 4, Sun Won't Come Out. It's another braggadocio track. I just like how he flipped the Nautilus sample by Bob James. I thought that was pretty dope, man. Like just very, very, very dope, man. Just like they go in. Sun Won't Come Out, pretty dope. Track 5, I Gotta Love, which is the first single. You know, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of reminiscent of Carmel City, not beat wise but subject matter wise. It's him playing the ladies man persona and things like that. Dope video. Like they filmed it like in Jamaica, cause you know Pete Rock is from, his peoples are from Jamaica, and excuse me, and you know, and they filmed it like in Times Square in New York, and it's such a dope video, man. My only gripe is like I didn't really care for the beat for I Gotta Love. You know, I prefer the remix, which I'll post down in the description box. I wish the remix version was the original, was the album version for this. That's just my opinion. I'll post it down. Let me know what you guys think about that. You agree or disagree? But that, again, that's just my opinion. Then you got track 6, Escape, which is a Pete Rock solo track. Pretty dope. He kind of goes a little in depth about him, you know, just says how like, you know, like he, you know, is appreciative of the success, what he's going through. He's just happy that he has his own house and stuff like that. Just saying like how we gotta invest. Us as black men, we gotta invest and stuff like that. But he also addresses all the haters, man, like that, just are jealous of his fame, and he's just saying like you gotta like just let them go and stuff like that. And that's what I got from that joint right there. And I was reading the credits, and then I noticed it said Rabo, so which tells me that Rabo actually wrote his lyrics. You know what I mean? But I think later on, Pete Rock, he gotten better, and then he ended up writing up his own lyrics. But so I'm assuming that all the raps that Pete Rock do, Rabo wrote the lyrics for it. So but yeah, that's Escape, one of my favorite joints off the album as well. Pretty dope. They got track 7, The Main Ingredient, which is a self-titled track. That's just another braggadocio track. That was pretty cool, dope beat right there. And then you got track 8, Worldwide. Oh my god, one of my favorite beats too. Love the dark beat, deep bass line, very very dope. CL Smooth is not on the track. I don't know what was up with that, but he's not on the track. You would think that CL will be on that track, but he's not. But it features Rabo of I&I, Crab Lovers old group, things like that. Excuse me. But yeah, Rabo and Pete Rock, they both have 2 verses. Rabo stole the show, obviously. Not shitting on Pete Rock, because Pete Rock is dope on the mic, but Rabo, he did his thing on that joint right there. That dude's a beast. Matter of fact, I need to get his album that he dropped independently. I forgot the name of that shit. I think it was called Rhyme Pro. It came like in the mid 2000s, but it's just a collection of songs that he did throughout the mid to late 90s, and hard to come by, but definitely didn't get my hands on that joint right there. But yeah, excuse me. But yeah, very very dope, man. Very dope song. Like I said, that deep bass line is just so ill. So if you have a system, highly recommend you pumping that shit in your car. That's all I gotta say about that. Track 9, All the Places. Just sort of about how niggas get down in the hood and stuff like that. Pretty dope. Just sort of about the dangers, but just like, go with caution. Just always watch your back and stuff like that. That's what I got from that joint right there. You got track 10, Tell Me. Nice jazzy track. Based on what I was, just kind of listening, it seemed like a street track based on like a female drug kingpin or something like that, like an evil, like a female that's running like a crime syndicate. Just based on what I'm hearing, like I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I got from Tell Me. That's what I got from it. That's Tell Me. You got track 11, Take You There. That's the second single of the album. I believe that was the biggest single of the album, if I'm not mistaken. Uses the Kenny Burke sample, and it's crazy too because Rap Lover in the interview was saying that Pete Rock had a hard time chopping that sample. So he says that he was saying like anytime somebody else, anytime anyone flips a sample, doesn't matter how cleverly you sample, like you chop the sample, Pete would know that you made that sample just as much time because of the time that he spent chopping that sample up. So that's pretty crazy. I thought I just threw that out there, but pretty dope. It features, like I said, it features Crystal Johnson, like I said, no, does it Crystal Johnson? Let me see. Yeah, Crystal Johnson, yeah, who did the Temperatures Rising, the chorus for that right there. And I want to say she did the chorus for G.O.D., the Nighttime remix that came out in 96, G.O.D. Part 3, but the remix to that, I think she did the single. She did the remix for that, because there's 2 remixes. There's them doing the chorus with the same beat, and then there's one with her on the chorus. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. And she did other stuff too, but I wish she came out with an album. But that never came about, unfortunately. All right, so that's Take You There. Like I said, that's just like Take You There is kind of like a girl track, love track kind of thing, pretty dope. Track 12, Searching, which was the third and final single, which features Vinya Mojica. Shout out to Vinya Mojica, one of my favorite singers. Yeah, man, Vinya Mojica, man. I miss hearing that name, man. I just miss hearing her voice. So underrated, man. I don't really hear too many people talk about that. But she does have like a dope article, if I do find it, of like why she stopped singing and stuff like that. I'll post it down in the description box. Just her talking about the industry and how it is and things like that. But it's a dope article. But Searching, like I said, is the third single. It's a final single. He delves into like relationships. One of my favorite songs off the album. Very slept on as far as singles. I don't really hear too many people talk about that song right there as far as the singles. Because people always talk about straightening it out or they reminisce over you. But I thought it was a dope song. Like, nice flip of that sample. The way Pete Rock filtered it, pretty dope. Really like that joint right there. Track 13, Check It Out, another dope joint right there. Nice jazzy joint right there, pretty dope. Fucks with that, heavy. Track 14, In the Flesh. Excuse me. It features it's a posse cut. But it starts off with Dida, who I've mentioned yesterday when I did the review. You hear him rapping over the instrumental of Escape from New York that was later used by Sadat X off his Wild Cowboys debut album. I did a review on that. If you haven't peeped that, definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. Yeah, so he's rapping over that stuff, over that shit, and then eventually it switches the beat, and then you got the beat In the Flesh. It's a funny story because I was reading a interview with Pete Rock, and this was around the time where Puffy, supposedly heard Pete Rock making a beat, and originally it was the original version of the Juicy song, because Pete Rock did the original, not the one that you guys know. But then also Puffy and Biggie was in the studio seeing him making the song or whatever. But also which how they got the song Juicy, the sample and stuff like that. And then also Biggie saw Pete Rock making a beat for In the Flesh and stuff like that. So he liked that beat so much. I think he was supposed to get it, but he didn't get it or something like that. But honestly, I think Biggie over that beat, I don't think it would have fit him, honestly. It wouldn't even fit on Ready to Die. Just how the way it's sequenced and the way it sounds and stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. But like I said, getting back to the song In the Flesh, it's a posse cut. It features Robbo and Dida. Robbo being part of I&I, like I mentioned before. Dida, dope MC from I believe he's from Mount Vernon. Came out with the video, the album that was unreleased until 2001, 2003. But yeah, very dope song right there. Very jazzy, very laid back, very dope. They all do their thing lyrically. Track 15, It's On You. Dope jazzy piano sample. I'm a big fan of that. Very, 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 very dope. Just saying yo, it's on you. Just saying yo, you gotta work on you. You gotta be you. You know what I mean? It's on you. It's whatever journey you take in life, it's on you. And that's what I got from that joint right there. There was a line where he said, what CL said, I wrote it down, where he says, nightmares of thirsty crooks, niggas all acting fishy, writing off the books, painting pictures of poverty, causing armed robbery. I mean, that kind of tells you right there that CL is still nasty with the pen. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. Very dope joint right there. And last but not least, the last track, Get On The Mic. Very dope joint right there. Has a nice piano sample. A piano jazz sample with light heavy drums. Pretty dope right there. He wrote a line where I like, where he said, to To fill the water gates, slaughter great, think and meditate, set behind the pace of the CL's war face, cars intense, make blueprints for over 6-figure salaries, lucified, caused many dead and died. I mean, CL is nasty, yo. Fucking dope, man. Alright? Now, my verdict of the album, overall, this is my favorite album from Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And I feel like they matured on this album compared to the first album, because the first album to me was like more of them in their rawest form, because like, you know, they were going through a lot. Like their boy Troy from you know, the Heavy D and the Boys died 2 years prior, and obviously that affected them, as well as Mount Vernon as a whole. It affected them, and you know, it was just them in their rawest form. And you know, the production at that time, how should I say this? It was dope. I love the production of Mecca and the Soul Brother, but it was raw. You know, it was like immature in a sense, and not in a bad way. It was like just like what I mean by that is like in its rawest form and stuff like that. And that's what I got with Mecca and the Soul Brother. But with Mecca and the Soul Brother, they did more topics. You know, they tackled more topics and stuff like that. You know, racism, ills of the ghettos and things like that. But with this album was like more laid back. You know, it was just all about having a good time, letting you know, like, I'm still here, I'm still nice, and you know, things like that. And a lot of people shitted on this album because, you know, people were saying like, you know, they kind of went commercial. I've heard people tell me that, like, you know, on Facebook and social media, telling me like, yo, yeah, man, this album, you know, they went commercial, and I can see that, but they still haven't like lost their touch, in my opinion. And what I like about this album, you know, production wise, is a lot more deeper. You know, he incorporated more bass lines. It's more bass line heavy, which I love. Harder drums, you know, things like that, and pretty dope, man. Yeah, this album definitely my favorite album between the two. If you guys gonna ask me what's my favorite between Mecca and this, I would have to say this. Like I said, they stepped their game up. You know, Pete Rock, you know, definitely was, like I said, his choices of samples. That's another thing too. Like, you know, and I'm pretty sure like he said it in interviews, like, where, you know, he didn't want to be pigeonholed as that producer that's known for the horns. So with this album, he used the horns, but not as much. So he did the horn samples just to please like the old fans, but he was kind of like straying away from that. So, and I could relate to that because, you know, when I started making beats, you know, I would like start using like the same drums and things like that, and then my beats started sounding the same, and you know, after a while you get bored with that. So I started like digging for more drums, and then you know, with the drums, with certain drums, it would direct me what type of sample would sound good on that. And I feel like I progressed in that nature. That's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree with me on that. But and all my producers could relate to that. All my producer friends, my beat maker friends could relate to that. But yeah, very dope. Like I said, I understand. You know, they went commercial, but it even said it in the interview, was saying like, yo, we want to reach out to, you know, worldwide. You know, which is like the common, you know, saying and things like that. And unfortunately, this was the last time they did together. They broke up after 1995, unfortunately. You know, because they just, you know, they couldn't, it was creative differences, and then they just couldn't stand around being around each other. They just didn't care for each other. And it's just like, I remember back in the mid 2000s, man, like, you know, they was just going at each other, which was fucking sad, man. But I'm glad they got back together. They're supposed to be working on the album. I would love to hear that. Take your time with that. Pete Rock's been on a roll, and this album is very influential. I mean, you have people like JD, before he became Jay Dilla, saying this is his favorite album from them. And I could see that, because if you listen to Fantastic Volume 1 and Volume 2 from Slum Village, you can hear the influence from this album. And it's just not only hip hop, but in other genres too. Like, you can hear it on like neo soul, you know, throughout the late 90s, early 2000s. You can hear that influence with this album. So, but yeah, man, you know how I get down. If you like what you see, definitely subscribe. That's it, man. Share it with your friends. Let me know what you guys think. And stay tuned. Got some other stuff in the bag, so stay tuned. All right, peace.